The storm arrived with almost no warning, thunder ripping across the late afternoon sky, lightning flashing in jagged lines, like someone tearing open the clouds. People ran for shelter, umbrellas flipping inside out, shopkeepers pulling down shutters. But on the side of the old highway, where the broken bus stop stood half collapsed, no one noticed the tiny bundle tucked between the metal bench and the advertising board. Except Aisha. She had been walking home from the tutoring center, her backpack over her shoulder, her sandals already slipping on the wet pavement. It had been a long day, 3 classes, no lunch, a headache blooming behind her eyes, but the moment she heard the thin, weak cry carried through the storm, everything inside her went still. She stopped. Listened. Another cry, softer, trembling, like someone too cold to even call for help properly. Aisha dropped her backpack and rushed toward the bus stop, rain stinging her face. Her breath caught when she saw him, a baby boy, too small, wrapped in a thin blue blanket soaked through, a tiny fist exposed and trembling violently. "Oh my God," her voice shook. She dropped to her knees and lifted him carefully. He felt cold, far too cold. His lips had turned a faint bluish color, and his tiny breaths came shallow and uneven. "Who left you here?" she whispered, her heart pounding with fear and anger. There was no shelter. No adult. No stroller. Just a soggy note barely attached to the corner of the blanket. She peeled it off with shaking fingers. "Please help him." Just 6 words. No name. No explanation. Aisha pressed the baby close to her chest, trying to shield him from the downpour. The storm was relentless, and the wind bit through her clothes like glass, but she hunched over him, forming a barrier with her own body. Her hair clung to her face, and rain soaked through her clothes within seconds. Cars sped past, headlights reflecting on the wet road, splashing water inches from her feet. She waved frantically. "Please. Someone stop. Please," she yelled, but the sound of the storm swallowed her words. A truck blasted past without even slowing. Her heart dropped. Another car came, she stepped forward, waving both arms despite the fear twisting inside her. The driver barely glanced at her. "Nobody is stopping," she whispered, her throat tightening. The baby's cry grew weaker. "No, no, no, stay awake," she pleaded, gently rubbing his tiny back. "I've got you. Please stay with me." She tried calling emergency services, but her phone flickered and died the moment she unlocked it. Water had seeped inside the cracked screen days ago. Panic shot through her chest. She looked around, desperate. The nearest shop had already closed for the storm. The houses nearby were dark, lights off, curtains drawn. No one wanted to deal with the chaos outside. Her instinct screamed, "Don't wait." So she stepped into the middle of the road again, the rain lashing her face, and shouted with all the strength she had left. "Stop." This time, a pair of blinding headlights slowed. Tires screeched on the wet asphalt. A black SUV swerved slightly before coming to a trembling stop just feet away from her. The driver's door opened instantly. A tall man emerged, drenched within seconds. His presence was sharp, broad shoulders, expensive coat, expression carved with authority and annoyance. "Are you out of your mind?" he snapped. "You could have been hit." Aisha didn't react to the scolding. She simply held out the baby, desperation written all over her face. "Please," she said, breathless. "He needs help." The man froze mid-step. His eyes darted from her face to the child, really saw him, and in an instant, everything in his expression changed. Fury melted into shock. Shock hardened into something deeper, something raw. He stepped forward fast, hands gentle as he touched the baby's cold cheek. "He's freezing," he muttered, more to himself than to her. He removed his coat and wrapped it around the child before Aisha could respond. The coat swallowed the baby entirely, trapping heat against his body. "Get inside," he ordered. "Both of you." His tone had changed, firmer, steadier, urgent but protective. Aisha didn't argue. She hurried into the SUV, still shielding the baby even though the heater blasted warm air around them. Inside, everything smelled clean, leather seats, faint cologne, something warm and expensive. Still, she barely noticed, she kept her focus on the tiny infant in her arms. The man climbed in, shut the door hard, and leaned toward her. "Let me see him." Aisha hesitated, clutching the baby closer. "You're not going to hurt him, right?" she whispered. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes, pain. Deep, soulful, aching pain. "No," he said softly. "I would never hurt him." She slowly loosened her grip and let him check the baby's breathing. His hands were steady, practiced even, as he touched the baby's forehead, chest, and pulse. After a moment, his jaw tightened. "He's too cold," he whispered, voice cracking. He swallowed hard. "He's my son." Aisha jerked back, shocked. "You're, what?" "I've been searching for him all day," he said. "Since morning." The storm outside thundered, but his voice sounded distant, hollow. "Someone took him from my house." Aisha felt her breath catch. "Why would anyone?" He shook his head sharply. "I trusted the wrong person. Someone who wanted leverage. Money. Control." He lifted the baby carefully, settling him more securely in his arms. Relief and terror mixed on his face, like a man who had just gotten back what he thought he'd lost forever. Aisha stared at him, trying to make sense of everything. "You don't know me," she whispered. "I'm just someone who happened to pass by." He turned toward her, his voice low, grateful, and unexpectedly warm. "You protected him in a storm," he said. "You didn't walk away when others did." His next words were even softer, meant for the baby, but landing somewhere deep in Aisha's chest too. "You're safe now." The baby stirred, letting out a tiny whimper, and the man exhaled shakily, as if that small sound alone pulled him back from a nightmare. Aisha watched him and felt something shift quietly inside her, something she couldn't name yet, but felt all the same. She didn't know his name. She didn't know his world. She didn't know what would happen next. But she knew one thing. Tonight, fate had tangled her life with his, and nothing would ever be quite the same again.